After days of rain, we are enjoying a day of kind of sunshine, and I'm out today catching up on chores. So join me for a muddy chore day here in Kentucky. Hey friends, it's Barbara Sue at Kowalski Mountain and welcome back to the homestead. It has been raining for like 3 days and everything in Kentucky is super muddy. Now during my rainy days, I've been learning as much as I can about my milking routine because we're going to start milking Meg on a regular basis very soon. And everything I read says keep your cow out of the mud. I'm pretty sure the only way I can do that is if I take her out of Kentucky. It does not matter where I walk on the farm, it is muddy. So we're going to do the best we can. Now first thing on today's chore agenda is I'm going to get some udder balm onto Meg. I noticed she looks a little bit chafed. I'm going to use my homemade tallow balm to hopefully give her some moisturization. Hey Meg. Hey Mama. Roxy's fine. Come here. Stay. I know. You're okay. You're okay. Step on it. Well, I did as good as I could. She started walking towards my camera, and then I got between Apollo and her, and she didn't like that. Now, the best thing about my tallow balm is it's good for me too, and it's all natural. There's nothing in that will hurt Apollo. So hopefully that'll help with some of her chafing. Now, I don't know if you caught that, but we have finally named Meg's calf. He was only born on Monday, and today's Friday, but we have finally agreed to name him Apollo Eclipse. Now, Apollo is the Greek god of the sun, and he was born on Eclipse Day, so he needed to have Eclipse in his name, so he will be Apollo Eclipse, and we're going to call him Apollo. Now, if you watched the birthing video, Meg went after Roxy a few times, and Roxy is a very good dog. She actually really likes the babies and she just wanted to see the baby, but Meg doesn't want her anywhere near Apollo, and so now my battery cut off. Like I said, during Meg's labor, she went after Roxy a few times, and Roxy is a super good girl, but Meg doesn't want her near her baby, and that's perfectly fine. I think that she should be cautious of dogs. We definitely have coyotes out here. Philip thinks that she can learn that Roxy's okay, but you know what? Meg is a new mama. She decides she doesn't want Roxy near her calf, and Roxy has learned her lesson. So when I come out here, Roxy pouts far away because she wants to see Apollo so badly. Now, next thing up on my list is I'm going to clean this barn a little bit and give them some dry bedding. So for the past 3 days, they've spent a lot of time in the barn. Apollo was born on Monday, and in the middle of the night, I guess it would be Tuesday morning, I woke up to a downpour. So I came outside just to check on Apollo, and while Meg was halfway in the barn, he was not. He was laying in the mud out in front of the barn. So at 4 o'clock in the morning, I went outside and I dragged him into the barn to get him out of the rain. I know calves are born out in the weather all the time, and that's just fine. My calf, I'm spoiling. I'm sorry, I'm going to. But that actually helped, because now Apollo knows go into the barn and he doesn't have to be dragged in there anymore. So they've been going in there and spending a lot of time in there completely on their own, and I don't need to intervene anymore. Now surprisingly, that barn wasn't that dirty, but now I'm going to get some fresh bedding. Now, if you remember, we had let our field grow really tall to let our cows eat it, and they didn't like it. Once the grass hits a certain age, it starts to become bitter, and the cows weren't eating it. And so we ended up having to mow down the field. Now, I hated to let all that grass go to waste. So in anticipation of Apollo's arrival, I spent an afternoon raking up a lot of hay, and I brought it in here to this container. That was our original hay feeder, and it wasn't really working for the cows, so we built a new one, but it works perfectly for this. It's a great place for me to put a lot of straw for bedding, and I can keep it covered, so I'm really happy about that. Now that big hay bale, we haven't been able to move because it's too slippery with all the rain. So that will go into the hay feeder, and Meg is not in that field. So we're still gonna have to get her hay to make sure that she has enough. Now that blue barrel, she keeps knocking over. So I'm gonna see if I can find a rope or a bungee to secure it upright. Now it's really too bad because you missed my best slip in the mud. I almost fell down. And I've been zapped by this electric fence for like 3 times today. And not once was it caught in film. So you're definitely missing some of the behind the scenes stuff happening. That's a little better. Uh-oh, she saw I was looking at her baby. He's fine, Meg. I'm just looking. He's having his nap. And Roxy is safely behind me. I guess she decides everything's okay, but she's going to keep watch just the same. Coming, Rox? Now I forgot, we have new chicks hatching out in about 4 days, so the big chicks are going to need to move out into a different brooder. Or we're going to have to divide it. I'm not sure, but I'm going to go with different. So I had pulled out the metal trough to put the chicks in for a brooder, and I tipped it upside down, let it all dry out. And then Philip decided that we should use this plastic one for the chicks instead, which honestly will be better because the chicks will be outside, and I think the plastic will be better than being on the cold metal. So I need to get this out so it can dry out.
That's the first post to the stanchion. Man, talk about twisty. It's crazy. Look at that.
Oh yeah. That just has to do with the way it...
What?
That just has to do with the way it grows in the rings.
Yeah, there's a lot of tension on the one side. Actually, this end right here, I probably could have cut it off, but I would have barely got maybe 7.5 foot. So when you're cutting this stuff, you almost got to think, okay, if I got scrap stuff, what can I use it for? There's no sense in throwing it away. I might as well go ahead and use it where it really doesn't matter. Now also, if you notice the ripple, I actually got several teeth. I got several teeth that are out of whack. So it doesn't matter when I'm doing rough cuts and rough projects. But I'll just clean off the bark. I can burn the end and then use it as a post. I can even, I don't know, leave it above ground too and just mount it to something hard. Two of these, it's like 2x8s, 2x10s actually. That's that's for the stanchion also. So those, I mean, there ain't no way that cow's gonna move that as long as everything else is solid, and that's the horizontal portion. You think you can get a lot of stuff out of some of these logs, but it's like an animal. You can only get so many pork chops out of a pig. I can knock the bark off. I can use it as a post somewhere, but I still gotta knock the bark off. And really, it's like here to there, so a 4 or 5 footer is about it. Try not to waste any bit of it. That'll go in the fire. And that's just to make sure there's no bugs in it. Should have my draw knife over here, make it easier.
Seems like it's working.
Yeah, it works just fine. Now this just got me thinking about how many people in the next month are going to end up using the skills that we just practiced last night.
Funny, I was thinking that too. If you cut your leg open with the axe, I could practice my sutures.
Because practice, you're not going to be a guinea pig.
I did a really good job. I only poked that pig's foot, 15 times to make 4 stitches.
Make it come around. Yeah, I got you. Poor pig. It'll never live.
So what we're referring to is last night, Philip and I are in a little group and they do skills. All types of skills, and last night's class was a suturing class to learn how to tie your own sutures. And so we bought a suture kit for practicing, which you use like a rubber to practice your sutures on. And maybe I'll do a little bit to show you in the video. But last night we also practiced on pig's feet, and it's amazing how different the skin is compared to the little practice thing. So it was actually a really good class, and I think we both learned a lot. Now, he knew how to tie stitches already, but he got to ask some questions that he needed answered, and I'd never done it. So I do feel sorry for anyone who needs me to suture them up, because I'm sure I was not gentle, and
Lots of lidocaine.
He might need moonshine.
Yeah, better keep some on the shelf somewhere.
So I actually did really well, but not without a lot of needlework that probably would not be pleasant. Now you might have seen the video we did of the garden and doing some garden prep where we had the problem. I'll put that video right up here. But one of the things we did was all the rocks that we picked up out of the garden we put here on this slope where it's like a little stream of water, and the rock is actually helping so much. It's so much better to walk here. I don't slip near as much going up this little embankment. And I know it doesn't look like much, but this Kentucky mud is like ice. It is super, super slippery. So this is really helping.
Babe.
Yeah, I know.
We need to pack up.
It's gonna start raining now until about 3.
Yeah. We'll close this stuff up because we ain't gonna miss it. It might be 15 minutes before that wind pushes it on us. We need to put this sawdust inside for the chickens.
Inside where?
In the house. I got this partial bag I need to put somewhere dry. Don't walk on the mud, walk on the boards.
Okay. Good girl. Good girl. You can go. Come on. So this incubator has about 4 more days on it. So I will be taking the egg turner out within a day or 2. And I've collected, I think I have 8 more American breast eggs, plus whatever gets laid today. Let's hope they lay 2. And we're gonna get this other incubator going again. Now before I can put the eggs in it, I need to set it up and let it come to temperature and proper humidity for several hours, and then I'll be able to put the eggs in probably tonight. Now the nice thing about these incubators being exactly the same is their power cords are interchangeable. So this one used to be down here and I moved it up, and not having to juggle all the cords really helps. It's turning. So the egg turner gets plugged in right here, and then the power strip right there.
I'm so happy that lady took care of us.
Oh, she was great.
I mean, the one we got from her, technically her cousin, wouldn't even use the full time, I don't think.
No, I don't think so either.
And all the other ones that are out there are not the same, and they're a little different setup. They don't turn the eggs.
So the lady that we bought the second incubator from, we bought it from her. We drove, I don't know, 40 minutes or so from the house to get it. And we get all the way home and it didn't have the power cord in it. So rather than take it back, get our money back, she ordered us a new cord for it and had it shipped directly to the house. So she really took care of us. I was really appreciative of that. So kudos to her. If she happens to watch the video, we really appreciate you. So now I have to remember how to reset this.
You know that there's a little add-in on that. That just speaks a lot about the people that are in this area, because where we came from and several other locations, the people aren't as nice and they're not of their word. So I mean,
Right.
I really appreciate these people here.
That's not what I want. Hopefully I didn't change the temperature. This is why you set it up in advance. Make sure it's right. I was trying to set up the days. You have to set it for 21 days, and the egg turner is based on the settings. So it's just coming to temperature. So we'll see what it does. And starting tomorrow, I'm going to increase the humidity in this upper one. Right now, we keep it around 50. And it can go up. I think it needs to go up to 65. I'll look at the book again to make sure I have it right. We got 2 eggs today. So I'm going to put my date on here. Let's load this incubator up. I'm going to put an X on one egg just so I can monitor that it's moving. And there we go. 21 days. Hopefully we'll have a new clutch of chicks.
Yes. He's doing good. Oh, you're so good boy. That's a good boy. Yeah. How are you? Oh, Meg, you give me kisses.
Oh, what was that?
She nudged me. In the face. I'm gonna punch her in the face in a second. You need a milk later.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, there's enough of that. I'm going to give you a little more.
There you go. Get zipped. Know what that fence is. Touch it again.
He did.
Yep. Put his nose right on it.
It's okay, Meg. I'm not hurting him. I'm not
You need to put a halter on her. can tie her ass to a post.
See, it's okay. We're okay. End on a positive note.
Yes, you better get out. Meg, you want to finish?
Still not done?
Come here, finish. Meg. Come here, finish.
Well, friends, I hope you've enjoyed this muddy day chores with me and just seeing a little bit of ordinary life on the farm. As always, we really appreciate you watching, especially to the very end. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, hit that button. We'd love you to be a part of the Kowalski Mountain family. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.